2011. I'm Jeff. This is the Jeff Allen Show on 570 News and Rogers TV Cable 20. Nice to have you with me this morning. And apparently the eco fees we've been paying on certain products and on electronics are illegal. Now, many of us have been thinking and saying that for quite some time. And you can remember last summer when we all collectively went ballistic with this new screwed up system. How much is that can of paint? How come it's different in every store? Where's this money going? Remember? Well, apparently things aren't working the way they should, and we're going to find out why. Cindy Tajam-Cherniak is a lawyer with Macmillan, and I want to go to the phone right now and get... Cindy, are you there?
I am.
Hi. Thanks for being with me. You know what? I just had to get everything set up here. Cindy, welcome to the program. And what's going on here? I mean, all our suspicions are correct, I guess. This hasn't really been the right way to do things. It's unconstitutional as far as the province goes?
Yes, and we actually said last year, and Toronto Sun newspaper printed a number of articles, that the tax is unconstitutional. And it's unconstitutional because it is an indirect tax. The provinces, under the Constitution Act, can only levy direct taxes. But when you tax someone knowing that they're going to pass it on to somebody else, that is an indirect tax, and the provinces aren't allowed to impose indirect taxes.
I'm curious as to why maybe no crusader has really thumped on them about this. I mean, you know, the government, you brought it up now, and why hasn't maybe the opposition even said this? It seems wild that this hasn't come out.
Well, actually, the opposition and Tim Hudak and Lisa MacLeod have been raising this since the eco-taxes hit the fan, shall we say, last July at the same time harmonized sales tax was implemented. So they have been talking about it. They have been raising the issue and saying there's a problem here that needs to get fixed.
Now, for people to understand, if we can try to simplify the legalese just a little bit here, when you say it's an indirect tax, I guess, so under the Constitution of the province or under the way it's worked, the tax has to go, it can't go to a second or a third party or it has to go directly to the government. It has to have a specific reason. Is that right?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's under the Constitution Act, which is a federal constitution.
Okay.
So it says what the federal government does and what the provinces can do. And the federal government can levy both direct taxes and indirect taxes, but under the Constitution, Canada's Constitution and the Constitution Act, provinces can only impose direct taxes. They're not able to impose an indirect tax. And what an indirect tax is I charge that tax of the retailer, knowing that the retailer is going to pass it on to the consumer. I want the money to come out of the consumer's pocket, know that the money is going to come out of the consumer's pocket, but I'm not being transparent with them. What I'm doing is I'm taxing someone else, knowing that that amount is going to be passed on and collected from the ultimate consumer.
Now, how does the body called Stewardship Ontario get into this mix?
Well, Stewardship Ontario was created under the Waste Diversion Act, but then they've been subcontracted already from the government, so the government's not watching the fox in the hen house. What they've done is they have now subcontracted to Stewardship, Ontario Tire Stewardship, Ontario Electronic Stewardship, and then there are other stewardship programs. So we've actually disconnected a second time, and it's not the government running the show as it should be with the imposition of taxes. They've subcontracted it out to someone who, it isn't really a transparent process. There really isn't this direct accountability. And what the real kicker is the legislation says that the tax must be charged on used tires. It is waste electronic equipment. It is not new. It is waste and used. So it's actually supposed to be charged when you drop your old computer or laptop off at the recycling bin, and when you drop your old tires off in order to be recycled. They are at the end of their useful life, not at the beginning. So another big problem with the eco-taxes is that they are not being implemented as set out in the legislation.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we're giving them the money up front. It's passing through a number of hands, and it should be money coming at the end of the process, what you're saying. So if the TV is old and done and I'm taking it to the landfill, I pay there.
Absolutely, and it's under the Waste Diversion Act. The purpose of the Waste Diversion Act is to divert waste from landfill sites. But by charging a manufacturer of computers and televisions and printers and cell phones, which, most of the students who have just gone back to university or college or high school, they've bought them and paid these eco-taxes. They're going to be using these things. The money's been taken out of the pockets of people who, they don't have a whole lot of money extra to spend.
And that goes for almost all of us nowadays too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and it all adds up. Anywhere from these taxes on computers and TVs and stuff they're around $25 for this, $25 for that. It can't add up. And you know what? The whole system really needs another look at. I've looked at it many times, and I've wondered why we've gone this way. But when you talk about the fox and the hen house. That Stewardship Ontario thing, basically that is the companies that make the products that are in charge, right?
Well, some of them sit on that board.
Okay.
But it really is a program that has been approved by the McGuinty government. There's still a connection between Stewardship Ontario, and they provide information to the Minister of the Environment. So it is now Minister Wilkinson. I mean, you've seen that there's election. I don't know if that's the correct term. And previously it was Garrettson, and he lost that portfolio partly because of this eco-tax fiasco. But what bothers me is we told them that there was a fox in the hen house, and what they've done is they said that they were going to look into it, and they either looked into it and decided we'll just continue as we are, even though we know they're not applying the legislation as it's been written, or they didn't do what they said they'd do and are ignoring the problem.
Wow. Cindy, thank you for this great news. I mean,
well, it's not great news.
I'm just being facetious there. Thank you. Now that we brought this to everyone's attention, this is something people can remember when they go to the polls.
I think so. And when I first went to law school, I learned, and we all are told, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well, the government ignoring the law, that's inexcusable.
All right. Well, Cindy Todgham, Cherniak, thank you very much for your time today and enlightening us. And thank you, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye now. Well, we'll be back in a moment with Peter Coleman of the National Citizens Coalition and get his take on this. And then we'll talk to you and get you to throw in. This is 570 News.
The Jeff Allen Show live from the 570 News studios in downtown Kitchener on 570 News. Also broadcasting live on Rogers TV Cable 20.
Being a 570 News insider is a very rewarding experience, week after week. There's always something fun and exciting up for grabs.
This week, insiders can enter to win a pair of tickets to Persuasion in support of Alzheimer's Society of Kitchener-Waterloo. You could also win a pair of tickets to the Kitchener-Waterloo Symphony opening night gala, Edwin and Friends, or passes to see I Don't Know How She Does It at Empire Theaters.
It's better on the inside. Just log on to 570news.com.
Hi, it's Jeff Allen for Robert's Boxed Meats on River Road, the fresh meat store with big savings. Everybody's raving about it, the big color Robert's flyer. Now, I saw it in last week's paper, and let me tell you, when I went in, the store was packed with all kinds of folks taking advantage of the amazing deals on fresh meat and a whole bunch more. Check out these door crasher specials. Schneider's chicken legs for only 99 cents a pound. And sliced bacon, just $2.49 a pack. You can't beat that. And that's just a couple of the incredible prices. Grab your Robert's Boxed Meats flyer and head in there now. The big savings end this week, so you better hurry in and stock up on all your barbecue and back-to-school items. I personally love Robert's Boxed Meats because they cut and wrap my meat exactly how I want it, and you can get it that way too, just like the old days, and their prices are incredible. Watch for the flyers or find the money-saving coupons online at robertsboxedmeats.ca on River Road across from Chicopee.
Chronic pain isn't just an inconvenience. It can stop you in your tracks. Hi, I'm Dave Callender. Join me along with my special guest, Dr. Muna from Advanced Pain Relief, this Saturday for Ask the Experts. We'll discuss recent innovations in healthcare that are designed to offer you lasting relief. He'll touch on laser therapy, spinal decompression, shockwave therapy, and more. If you suffer with daily pain, tune in and have your questions ready. Ask the Experts with Advanced Pain Relief this Saturday from noon to 1, only on 570 News.
It's the Hyundai best-selling sales event. Hyundai is the best-selling passenger car brand in Canada. Get the 2012 Elantra for only $144 bi-weekly payments. A beautiful aerodynamic design gives the Elantra the best non-hybrid fuel efficiency in its class. Not to mention a stylish, spacious interior. You can also get 0% financing for 60 months on other select Hyundai models. The Hyundai best-selling sales event. Bi-weekly payments based on a selling price of $17,380. See newspaper for details.
Sir, I am proud to have won Employee of the Month with an all-expense-paid trip to Fiji, but no thank you. I could not bear to miss 1 second of work.
Absurd? Yes, but we're trying to make a point. Life is just better when you have a job you like, and that's the kind of opportunity you'll find at kwjobshop.ca.
Why lie on a beach when I can sit in my cubicle all day and feel fulfilled? Fiji Smeeji.
kwjobshop.ca. Long name, amazing results.
Here is KW Job Shop's Job of the Week. Volkswagen Waterloo is looking for a vehicle detailer. This is a full-time position that's available immediately. You must have a clean driving record and the ability to drive both automatic and standard vehicles. You'll be responsible for ensuring every car delivered to a client is car show perfect. If you're friendly, reliable, and detail-oriented, this job may be right for you. To learn more about this position with Volkswagen Waterloo, go to kwjobshop.ca. Long name, amazing results.
We return to the Jeff Allen Show on 570 News. Also broadcasting live on Rogers TV Cable 20. Here's Jeff.
Well, according to Sidney Kodjam-Cherniak, the lawyer with Macmillan LLP, that's lawyers something and something, right? Anyway, says the eco fees we're paying and have been paying on certain products and on electronics specifically are illegal. And already a couple of you have written me at 570news.com, so how do we get our money back? The other question was, if the law is unconstitutional, are we getting our tax dollars back? Somehow, it's the old adage, once it's out of your pocket and in the government's pocket, it's a little difficult to get it back. And, but that's the first thing I thought of, too. All right, and here's the thing, and she makes a great point. Cindy was saying, you see, because the money's changing hands between a few parties, you can't, under the law, do that. She says the way eco fees are set up is what makes them a violation of the Constitution. And the province of Ontario is not allowed under the Constitution to impose indirect taxes. Indirect taxes, which is what these are. So, should all eco fees be scrapped? I mean, in our first hour, a number of you were saying, there is no terror issue. We're wasting too much money on it. It's there you are. Now, you can agree or disagree on that, but many of you have said to me over the last 6 years that these eco fees and this whole environmental movement is a ripoff. In the sense of these eco fees and these little taxes and Green Energy Act and stuff, it's all related, and many of you are just tired of the system, and you've said that to me. Should all eco fees be scrapped and then we come up with a new system? See, this Stewardship Ontario group is at arm's length of the government, and they administrate these fees. Well, basically, when you go to a big box store, for example, buy a big screen TV, you're going to charge like $26 on one, because I bought a couple before Christmas, and they were, I think, $26 on a TV. Well, what Cindy is saying, and what if you've listened to me, what I've been saying for years is that you should pay it at the end when you take it back. You know, why are we giving the money up front, right? I haven't done with it yet. I'm not finished with it yet. I'm not recycling it yet. It's not waste yet. You know what's happening? It's almost like those gift cards. The money's in the bank, in their bank, getting interest for quite some time. Where's all that interest on all those taxes, I wonder? You ever thought of that? Peter Coleman of the National Citizens Coalition is on the line now. Hi, Peter. Thanks for your time today.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. Well, we just had a great talk with our lawyer, and she says that the province of Ontario is not allowed under the Constitution to impose indirect taxes. We've all been kind of thinking that and been upset about that here in the province ever since they sort of came in. What's your position on that?
Yeah, I agree with her totally, man. This is like the Stewardship Ontario is a sort of independent quasi-government agency. It's, as you said, because collecting taxes ahead of time, and it's sort of tax by stealth, Jeff. People are wondering what these taxes are about when I go to the hardware store or buy a TV, as you said, or all kinds of things. And it's just it's another thing that McGuinty's has done. It's like it's a tax, and nobody knows where the money's going. It's maybe a make you feel good program, but it's just not working.
Now, as I asked Cindy, though, you know, it doesn't seem like there's the political will. I mean, I know that some of this, she mentioned Lisa McLeod and Tim Hudak have talked about it, but it doesn't seem like there's, even from colleagues, let's say, in the press who really haven't attacked the Premier and the party on this one, because if it is an unconstitutional, illegal tax, shouldn't we be screaming bloody murder about this, Peter?
Oh, I think so for sure, but it's like this whole campaign right now, Jeff, it's like a sleepwalking. People aren't asking McGuinty the tough questions. The other parties aren't making themselves seem to be different from McGuinty, but you're right. It's just this tax is an illegal tax. It's a tax up front. It should be a tax, as you say, when you dispose of things, which is, it seems eminently reasonable to do it that way. And also, where's the money going? Like, who knows where that money's gone to?
Well, yeah. That's what gets me, and that's always my question with governments and then how things go into general revenue, and we go, wow, gee, we fixed the road instead of going to health care. Oh, well, we did this instead of going to the environmental fund. I don't know where the money goes either, and as I said, there's a heck of a lot of interest building up somewhere, too.
Well, that's it for sure. I mean, it's another one of these sort of agencies where there's no accountability, no responsibility, no disclosure, so taxpayers taking a chin for a tax they're not sure why they're paying in the first place, and nobody's saying a word about it. It seems to be a malaise going on here in Ontario. I hope the campaign heats up a bit more than this and gets back to the real meat and issues of the overall provincial campaign soon, Jeff.
Well, I know this is only an opinion question, Peter, but do you find that we as human beings, it's human nature of it, we sort of get the slap on the back with a 2x4, and then after a little while, we don't feel it hitting us every day. I mean, we get used to these taxes or something and just shrug our shoulders and say it hurts a bit, but now it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm just used to it. And what's the sense of fighting it?
I think that most of us are really polite people, and we just don't like to have that kind of conversation and fight. We got enough troubles in our daily lives making ends meet, and you get nickel and dime on these taxes, and you're right. People just sort of say, oh, well, but they should be asking the questions, where's this money going? Is it making the environment any better? All these things that it's supposedly set up for. And I don't think the government has any answers for it, and they don't want to talk about it.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't have anything more to ask you right now, Peter, and I thank you very much for your time. I want to get the audience in on this. Thanks so much, and maybe we can talk again soon.
That'd be great, Jeff. Have a good weekend.
Peter Coleman of the National Citizens Coalition. Well, what do you think? What do you say? Should all these eco fees be scrapped? I mean, has it been bothering you? Here's one here. Here's from a businessman who says, Jeff, I have to collect this stupid fee, and what really ticks me off is that we have to charge HST on this fee too. And this gentleman runs a computer company, so sells computers. So there you are. He's got to charge all those taxes. And the funny thing is, have you purchased the computer? You pay for the keyboard, you pay for the mouse, you pay for the stand, the guts, and you pay for the monitor. Every one of them's got a different price too. I think it's about $34 when you add it all up, right? So if you can recycle your monitor, don't buy a new one. I don't know. Everybody wants the real good-looking ones now, and there's no big giant ones anymore, except on the side of the road that nobody wanted to take to the landfill. There you are. Well, what do you say? Should these eco fees be scrapped? And maybe, for me, I've always felt we need another system. Really, another system. And I've seen a better system, and I don't know why we can't steal it. It's a socialist idea, and I'll tell you about it when we come back in a few moments. But Ron in Cambridge, what do you think?
Jeffrey, I was on your show yesterday, and I just happened to mention the Zigo tax on containers such as paint, windshield washer, and people still didn't realize that was on their bill, because it was kept that quiet. And he also put the disposal tax back on electronics, like the gentleman was saying, and don't forget about disposable tax on tires. So you're paying for it on both ends. Like, you go down and buy a set of tires, they're going to nail you for taking your old ones away. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to pay tax on the new ones you already bought. Jeff, this is just stealing at its best, and like I said yesterday, this is why no one says anything positive about liberals, because you can't trust them.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Now, to be fair, I can't say what happened between 2002 and a half and 2005 in our province. So I don't know, because I wasn't living here. I was in Saskatchewan at the time. So I don't know exactly who brought this all in, because as I understand it, this has been it's morphed from one party or successive government to another. It's, we've had these tire fees and all of that sort of stuff for a long time. And you know what? I'm told, for example, I've been told about the tire thing that it's worked pretty well. The tire things work pretty well. It's the other things that aren't. Now, that's just what I've been told, and I've been told that I trust my brother-in-law, who's been in the tire industry his entire life. And he's told me that it's worked very well, and many environmentalists have said that too. Now, that's me just throwing that out there, but already the emails are coming in. And I want to take your calls. We're going to take a brief time out for Kristen Parkinson to bring you up to date with what's going on. And then I want to ask you this question, simple. Should all eco fees be scrapped? Should we come up with a new system? Or is this thing working just the way it should be? Is it working well? Has the government made the right call on this? This is 570 News.